Far away, a very long time ago, in a land around a large freshwater lake called the Sea of Galilee, a special story unfolded. This area was known for its calm waters and busy fishing villages. It was a place where people lived simple lives, often spending their days working and traveling. In those times, daily life often involved journeys by foot or by boat across the lake. Fishermen would spend their nights casting nets, hoping for a good catch. The rhythm of life was connected to the sun rising and setting, and the changing weather patterns over the water. People understood the lake's power, both for providing food and for its sudden storms. Among the people living there was a kind teacher named Jesus. He traveled with a group of close companions, who were called disciples. These disciples learned from Jesus and helped him. Many of them were fishermen who knew the Sea of Galilee very well, and they shared a special bond with their teacher. One day, after a busy time of teaching many people, Jesus told his disciples to get into a boat and go across to the other side of the lake. He then went up a mountain by himself to spend some quiet time alone. As evening arrived, the disciples set off in their boat, leaving Jesus behind on the shore. As night grew darker, a strong wind began to blow across the lake. The water grew rough, and tall waves crashed against the boat, making the journey difficult. The disciples struggled to row against the wind and waves. Then, in the darkness, they saw a figure coming toward them, walking on top of the water. They were surprised and unsure, thinking it might be a ghost. But then, a voice called out to them from the figure on the water. It was Jesus, who said, "Be of good cheer, it is I, do not be afraid." One of the disciples, named Peter, was encouraged by Jesus' voice. He bravely asked, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." Jesus simply replied, "Come." Peter then stepped out of the boat and began to walk on the water, moving toward Jesus. As Peter walked on the water, he looked around at the strong wind and the powerful waves. He started to feel fearful, and his attention shifted from Jesus to the difficult conditions around him. Because of this fear, his steps became unsteady, and he began to sink down into the water. Peter then cried out, "Lord, save me." Without a moment's delay, Jesus reached out his hand and firmly caught Peter. He helped Peter stand on the water again. Jesus then asked Peter why he had doubted, explaining that focusing on fear can make things difficult. Immediately after Jesus caught Peter, they both climbed back into the boat. As soon as they were safely inside, the wind stopped, and the lake became calm again. The other disciples in the boat watched all this with wonder and a deepened understanding. They felt a sense of peace and understanding about who Jesus was. From that moment on, the boat smoothly reached the shore where they intended to go. The disciples continued their travels and their daily work alongside Jesus, but with a new perspective. The memory of that night, and what they had witnessed, stayed with them, reminding them of the power they had seen. This story teaches a simple lesson. Even when life feels challenging, or when we face difficulties that seem overwhelming, focusing on what is kind and good can make a big difference. It shows the importance of trusting in positive things and not letting fear take complete hold. With the calming of the storm and the new morning light, a quiet sense of peace settled over the lake and the disciples. Their journey continued, filled with further lessons and discoveries, under the vast, open sky.